U.S. Senate proposes that radioactive contamination of NATO territory caused by Russia be considered as attack on alliance.
Here's a summary of the article.
Authenticate users, apply security measures, and prevent spam and abuse, and if you do not want us and our partners to use cookies and personal data for these additional purposes, click Reject All. If you would like to customize your choices, click Manage Privacy Settings. You can change your choices at any time by clicking on the Privacy and Cookie Settings or Privacy Dashboard links on our sites and apps.
This post received a score of 38,000, with an upvote ratio of 92%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
The U.S. Senate has introduced a resolution which proposes that the actions of Russia, Belarus, or proxy of Russia be considered as an attack on NATO, if their actions lead to radioactive contamination of the Allies' territory. The threat of a use of a nuclear device by Russia is real. And the best way to deter it is to give them clarity, the Russians, as to what happens if they do that. And our message is to those around Putin. That if you do this, if you follow his orders, if he ever gives this, you can expect a massive response from NATO. And you will be at war with NATO, Graham said. This resolution is meant to send a message to Vladimir Putin and even more directly to his military: they will be destroyed, they will be eviscerated if they use tactical nuclear weapons, or if they destroy a nuclear plant in a way that threatens surrounding NATO nations. His military risks total obliteration by NATO forces, if they are so reckless and irrational as to resort to tactical nuclear weapons, co-sponsor Senator Blumenthal said.
This is great. I think it'll serve as an effective deterrent, if anything. If we had considered blowing up the dam a direct attack on NATO, albeit as far-fetched as that would be, it might have still been around. Having to ride the line? While all these humanitarian disasters occur is heartbreaking, I think that we are both justified and ethically called to intervene in the case that NATO territory is threatened by radiation.
I believe Russia is already emboldened by the lack of any meaningful response to blowing the Kakhovka Dam, which is why they are now leaning towards an attack on the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. I agree and think a clear warning from the US and NATO allies is absolutely necessary to deter yet another humanitarian disaster committed by Russia.
The issue with the dam is that there's no credible way it could have been spun as an attack on NATO. It was very, very bad, but the destruction was confined entirely to Ukraine. Even if you had a comparable policy but for infrastructure destruction instead of nuclear contamination, it still wouldn't have applied in this case. ZPP has the potential of spreading past Ukraine's borders if it's destroyed.
Big Z, Zelensky, said the other day that they were planning to do something at that nuclear plant. Now this. Throughout this entire conflict, the US has been on the mark with their intel. This proposal could indicate intelligence that suggests Russia is considering making a very, very stupid move. Let's hope this is enough to deter them. Edit. Probably shouldn't have used Big Z for Zelensky. I now see the irony and I apologize. I forgot the Russians were slapping Zs onto all of their vehicles when I made this comment. Slava Ukraini.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.